All right, Alicia, we are recording.
Okay. Hey guys, so my name is Alicia. Welcome to our team call / Coach Basics call. And we're so excited to have you tonight. Thank you for getting on. I know everybody has extremely busy lives and so much to do. So just taking a few minutes out of your life to join us for this training is, it says a lot about you and your commitment. So we appreciate you getting on with us. We're really excited to share with you tonight some exciting new training tips that we have for you. And the topic for tonight is simply about how to post on social media. So I'm sure that you were initially attracted to this business through your coach and following them on social media, more than likely, maybe not, but 9 times out of 10, I'm guessing that was the case. And the reason that we are utilizing social media so much is because, let's face it, it's the easiest way to reach a community of people. And the best part is you can reach people that are not in your direct, area. So we can not only help people that are within driving distance of us, but we can also help people that are in other states and even other countries. So as of right now, we can reach people that are in Canada as well as the US. And later this year, we're going to be expanding into another international market as well. We haven't been told yet what market that will be, but just keep in mind that social media is a great way to be able to reach and help other people that are all around the world. So with that being said, tonight we just want to talk to you about how to post and what to post and break it down for you in a way that's easy to understand and hopefully not overwhelming you at all. So I think it's important to start out very basic with explaining to you why we do what we do and a little bit of the meat and potatoes behind it, because I don't expect you to do anything without understanding the why behind it. So I know when I initially signed up to be a coach, my coach told me that I had to post on social media 3 times a day. And I was completely intimidated by that. I'll be honest. I did not post on social media, but maybe, I don't even know, maybe once a week, if that. And if I did, it was never about myself. It was always about my kids. There were no pictures of me on my Facebook page. I was not confident at all when I was getting started as a challenger. And then she's telling me to post, 3 times a day. And I was very intimidated, extremely intimidated. So I did it because that's what she told me I needed to do to be successful. But one thing she didn't really explain to me very well in the beginning was the why behind it. So we want to make sure that you understand that from the start. And it's very important, so before we go any further, the very basic thing I want you to get out of this call is that we are asking you to post on your social media 3 times a day. Every single day, 365 days a year, believe it or not. That's what we're asking of you. If you go to my page or you go to Kaylee's page or you go to Allison's page or Mary Carolyn's page, you will see that every single day. Consistency is key in this business. There is a reason for that, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But I'm asking you for 3 times a day. That's minimum. And you can do more than that. I wouldn't go crazy, but 3 times is what we're asking. So let's just hit for, a goal of 3 times a day. Now, the important thing to understand is the why behind that. So depending on how many friends you have on your social media right now, let's just say we're working with Facebook for argument's sake today. Each of you will come into this business with a different amount of followers or Facebook friends. Some of you might currently have 100. Some of you might have 500. Some of you might have 1,000. I personally had about 150 Facebook friends when I started out in this business. Now, keep that in mind when you start posting. You're trying to get your posts seen by your followers, right? Because you want them to know what you're doing and you want them to join you. How can they join you if they don't know what you're doing? If you're not telling them about it, they're not going to know about it, and therefore they can't join you. Other than privately inviting them, which we'll talk about that later. Right now we're just talking about you getting it out there on social media. So we want you to share you on your page. Your page is like a billboard for you. It's literally like, hey, here I am. This is me. It's like, if somebody were to scroll to your Facebook and they've never met you, by scrolling down your page for a few minutes, if you're doing this consistently, they should be able to tell what you are and what you're all about very quickly. Now, there is a reason that we ask you to do it 3 times a day. Facebook's algorithms change all the time, and we'll keep you up to date with any changes that we find out about. But they make it very difficult for your posts to get seen by your friends. If you're not interacting constantly with someone, when I say constantly, that means like messenger messaging or liking and commenting on all their stuff, more than likely they're not even seeing your newsfeed. You might even think about somebody like right now that you haven't seen a post from them in forever. I bet if you went and searched on their Facebook page, they're still posting. You're just not seeing it because you're not interacting with them. And the thing is that's how sneaky Facebook is. They do not allow your posts to be seen unless you're interacting with other people. So while we're asking you to post 3 times a day, we're also asking to make sure that you're interacting with other people. And we'll get better at that over time. But for now, the basics is just posting. So the algorithms make it difficult for your posts to be seen. So by you posting 3 times a day at 3 different times of the day, we're increasing the likelihood that somebody is going to see at least one of those posts. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm going to annoy my family and friends. Don't worry. Your family and friends, the likelihood that they're going to see all 3 of those posts is not great. Unless they are liking and commenting on all 3 of those posts, they're not going to see them every single day. They might see one of them, and that's what we want. We want them to start seeing at least one of your posts a day. So that's why you have to be consistent and post 3 times a day, 3 different times a day. You want to be consistent, but you don't have to like get so stressed out that like you have to set a timer on your phone and remember like, oh no, it's 7 a.m. I have to post now, and it's 12 p.m. and I have to post now, and it's 5 p.m. Don't stress, okay? It's not that serious. But you have to play around with the times a little bit. You have to figure out what works for you and your market and who you're trying to attract. For example, I am I stay up really late, okay? And I don't get up really early. So I tend to post late at night, and my market is up late at night. So that's okay for me. If you are somebody that wakes up at 6 a.m. and a lot of people that you interact with are working at 6 a.m. or, going to work at that time, that might be a great time for you to post. So you just have to play around with it and see what works for you. But this is the reason we're asking you to do this. So it's not just because we want you to get crazy and annoy people. It's not just because there's no reasoning behind it. Trust when we tell you this works. It's all about consistency. If you post, one day and then you wait like 4 days and then you post again and then you wait a few more days and you post again, you're killing your vibe. You are killing your consistency. You're killing your opportunity to get yourself in front of people. So if you want to be successful right out of the gate, I promise, if you listen to us when we tell you this method works. So just trust and try it. Start out from the beginning and start doing this now. The next part of our call, as I segue here, is you're like, okay, you're telling me to post 3 times a day, but what the heck do I post? Well, no fear. We have Kaylee and Mary Carolyn. They're going to talk to you now about how to figure out what the heck do you post and how do you keep from like annoying your friends and family. And not only what do you post, but how to figure out what to post. So they're going to talk to you about that next.
Hi, guys.
Okay,
so if you guys don't know, we're like the same person. It's kind of scary.
We work well together. That's why we're tag teaming this. I just really wanted to say, first of all, whenever you just heard Alicia say, post 3 times a day, every day, and you were kind of like, what is this girl talking about? She told me that about a year ago now, and I had the same reaction. I was like, 3 times a day? Like, you're lucky if I post 3 times a month. So if that is your thought and you're wondering, well, what the heck am I going to post about? My life is boring. For me, all I do is sit at home with my dogs. Maybe all you do is sit at home with your kids. That's okay. There is still lots of stuff you can post about, and Kaylee and I are going to talk about some of those things now. I think that a really good rule of thumb and a conversation that Alicia, Kaylee, Allison, and I were just having was maybe if you think about the things that when you're with your friends or you're spending time with your spouse or significant other, maybe like the top things that you spend most of your time talking about. Those are some good things to talk about on your social media, some of your hobbies or your passions. Kaylee and I both, if you're Facebook friends with us, you'll see us talk a lot about coffee. We both love coffee. Again, I talk a lot about my dogs. I post a lot about my dogs. Some of Kaylee's big things are fashion. There's so many things that you can talk about on social media that it's really not something to stress about. Kaylee, you want to take it away for a little bit?
I was going to also just say it's not necessarily posting about the things that you like, but also like the things that you dislike, the things that you're, learning about yourself that you're maybe not so good at. I know I made a post about I suck at organization, so I made a post about it, and people loved it because there's a lot of people out there that suck at organization. Things that, it's scary, but things that make you uncomfortable, that's been my biggest thing because I'm the biggest introvert ever. Well, I'm not anymore, but I was. And talking on social media about it has actually gotten me out of my little shell that I was in my entire life, and is now like, actually it's so much easier to talk about things because I talk about it on social media and I get such an amazing feedback from it. You guys would be surprised how the things that scare you the most and the things that you're like, oh my gosh, I want to throw up if I post this, those are the things that you're going to get the most traction on. So as much as I will tell you this, like when I became a coach at first, my coach said, be vulnerable, be transparent, post what, what scares you or what are your fears and, what are your, things you don't like about yourself, your flaws, things like that. Post all that stuff. People love that. And I was like, there's no way I'm friends with the people that made fun of me on, I'm friends on Facebook with the people that made fun of me in middle school, in elementary school. There's no way I'm posting that stuff on Facebook. Well, I did it, and I wish I would have done it sooner, because when I did finally do it, people were like, they were like in my corner, and I never like had that. And had I done that from the get-go, I probably would have gotten out of my comfort zone even sooner than what I did. Yes, Brandy, it's so true. Yeah.
And it makes you relatable too. Brandy posted in the chat bar. I'm not sure if everyone can see it. I know people on phones sometimes can't. Brandy said some of the posts that I put my flaws out there and I get a lot of attention on. And that it makes you relatable. People, if you're not the most confident person in the world, Kaylee and I both have struggled with that, still struggle with it every day. Not everybody's really confident, so people really relate to you on that. So we're going to talk a little bit more about, some different things that you can post on, some different ideas and such. But my big fear when Alicia told me that you have to post 3 times a day, I was like, I'm going to be blowing up my friends and family's Facebook with Beachbody, Shakeology. I thought that that's what I was going to be posting about. Do not post about this. Whoever your upline coach is, if they see you posting Beachbody posts after Beachbody posts after Beachbody posts, all 3 of your posts in the day are about that, they're gonna say, okay, we gotta regroup, we gotta think of other things to talk about. It comes off salesy, and that's what scares people away. People want to see you. So what we're doing when we're posting 3 times a day is kind of giving people a little front row seat into your life. And that doesn't mean that you have to post literally everything. You don't have to be a reality, TV star showing every little piece of your life. But the big parts of your life that, really matter and will draw people to you, those are the things that you want to post.
People like to be entertained. I've really noticed that. People like, I mean, like seriously, look at the whole Lady Gaga thing. You literally post one thing because of her performance at the Super Bowl, and you literally get, I got, I think, 75 likes on a little tiny status that I had posted about it. There was no picture, nothing. But people love entertainment. And you have to think about those little creative things that people are kind of going to be on the same page as you, that are going to relate to you, like MC said.
So one thing that we wanted to do was kind of get some interaction going and get some folks to talk about some things that maybe they could start posting about. So I like to go with like the number 5. That's kind of like my 5 things are coffee, my dogs, my marriage, self-love, and my fitness are definitely, and everyone should have fitness in their 5 things. You know, Alicia talks about her cakes. That's kind of what people come to her page to, you know, to see. That's what you're trying to create. You want people to, you know, every couple of days go to your page and say, oh, what new coffee cup did Mary Carolyn buy? Or like, or what crazy thing does she have her dogs doing? Or what kind of cake is Alicia baking? You know, you want people to go to your page to see that stuff. You want to bring them there. So we wanted to get some interaction going and maybe get some things from you guys that you felt like you could post out. You know, maybe your mom, and maybe it's your kids, or maybe it's like advice about being a mom, or I don't know. Kaylee, you want to help me out?
Like one of my biggest things, people love my graphic t-shirts, my graphic tank tops, things like that. I have a ton of graphic shirts. So people love when I post those things because they're like, oh, I need that, or oh, that's so cute. Like, and you get so many likes on the little things. Or I'll do, one of my things is fashion. So I will every couple days put an outfit of the day up, and people go crazy. I don't make a big long post about it. I literally just say like outfit of the day, maybe put a sentence, and that's it. Like, post, done. People love it. But you're always trying to strive to just add some kind of value to somebody. So, you know, I love beauty, hair, that kind of thing. I know MC has posted about, you know, our favorite dry shampoo. As simple as that, of, oh, hey, look at my Target find today. It's, you know, my favorite dry shampoo that I've tried, and I've tried them all, or whatever. People are going to go out and buy that same dry shampoo that you just talked about. So it's just kind of finding those little things that you like in your life, that if you were looking through a magazine or you were scrolling on Facebook, what stops you, what interests you and catches your eye. That's what you want to be posting. Does that help? Does anybody have any questions so far?
Is anyone like thinking of stuff right now off the top of your head? Things you could be posting about?
I know Kelly posted an awesome graphic tee the other day in our group, which was awesome.
Yeah, she did.
So it's things like that. It's just like little things that you can post. It's just kind of getting creative. And I've never been a creative person. I sucked in art in school because I never could think outside the box. And this like coaching thing has like totally made my mind like I'm able to like seriously think outside the box, and I get so creative now, and it's like it's actually fun to post. So you'll get to that point too.
And it happens like relatively quick. I really promise. Really, really promise. Just inspirational quotes. Those are something, you know, easy to post. It's a lot of people's, you know, go-to. Sandy said, I love sharing recipes and The Walking Dead. Sandy, I'm so glad you said that. I actually wrote that down and I bypassed it. Recipes. Everybody freaking loves recipes because everybody eats. Like tonight, I made a post it wasn't even that good of a picture, to be honest. I just snapped it really quick and took it. But I made some buffalo chicken meatballs, and I just, I don't know, I said something about buffalo chicken meatballs, like, does anyone want the recipe? And I don't know, last time I looked, it had like a ton of comments. So, you know, all those people want the recipe. People love that stuff. That's awesome, Sandy. And The Walking Dead. That's totally something you can talk about. I love Grey's Anatomy. I post about that every now and then. Kaylee posts about Gossip Girl sometimes. Yeah, that's perfect. Because you're finding people that are interested in the same things you are, and that's your goal. So I was gonna like call a couple of people out and be like, hey, can you give me a couple of things you can talk about? But some of you look a little scared, so that makes me want to tell you, like, these calls are really laid back. If you have questions, unmute yourself and ask. Like, we want you guys to feel welcome.
And we're the same as you. We're not, just because like we're like the coaches, like running the calls or whatever, like we're equal. We're the same, in the same boat as you. So we don't want you guys to think like we're superior or anything like that either.
I'm seriously drinking from an Olaf mug and eating straight from a peanut butter jar. If it doesn't get more real than that, ladies, I mean, jump right on in.
I love it.
Alicia, did you have anything to add, or was that good?
The only thing I remembered that I forgot to say was in terms of the algorithms, and this will help you, is things with pictures will get seen more, and videos will get seen even more than that. Things that you just push the share button on don't get good traction. So if you see a quote that you like that somebody else posts, instead of just sharing it by pushing the share button, don't do that. Take it and make it your own. So take the quote and go into one of the apps that we're going to suggest to you that you use and like re-type it out, and then, you know, make it your own and post it. Because by pushing the share button, Facebook doesn't like shares, and Facebook doesn't like YouTube videos. Facebook doesn't like things that are outsourced. So they're not going to get seen as much. It's not going to allow other people to see them as much. Not saying that it won't work at all, but it's just not going to be allowed to be seen as much. Same thing with things without photos. They won't be seen as much. So you always want to try to add an image or a video, and videos get even better in terms of their reach. They can be seen more in terms of who is going to be able to see that in their news feed. So when somebody comments on it, then that shows up in someone else's news feed, like friends of friends, as long as your Facebook is set up right. And Allison's going to talk about that. So I don't want to steal her thunder, but just make sure you're, you know, attaching images, like I said. And like I said, if you see an inspirational quote that you love, instead of just copying it, you know, make it your own. So that will make it more you.
And at the very least, if you can't make it your own, or, you know, whatever, I see every now and then a few coaches. Oh my gosh, excuse my dog in the background. I apologize. You can hear him. See, this is real life. Allison's drinking from an Olaf mug, and my dogs are doing inappropriate things on the couch.
We got kids on the call. I love it. We have kids on the call. I love it.
Right. But anyway, if you can't make your own little image in WordSwag or whatever, it's really easy. But at the very least, you know how whenever you go on Pinterest and like you can see like the little hourglass in the corner, or you can tell that you like screenshotted it, at least make enough effort to like crop it out. That's one of my biggest pet peeves, so I just had to like throw that out there. At least do that. But could everybody just put like a couple of things in the chat bar, that you would be able to post about? We gave a ton of examples. If you love to cook, that's not me. You'll see a recipe every now and then, but I'm not very good at cooking, so that's not me. But okay, so Brandy's saying coffee, kids, faith. Faith is a wonderful one. Recipes, that's perfect.
Perfect.
And you guys, your fitness or your health should be one of your 5 for all of you on this call. So that should be one for each of you, because something you want to do is share your journey with your followers. So that's going to be one of the 5 that you have to come up with. So we've already figured out one for you. You just have to come up with 4 more. So hobbies, things that you're into, organizations you are passionate about. For moms, most people post about their kids. I love football. I post about football, which isn't really common for a girl, but that's just my thing. Maybe you're into scrapbooking. Maybe you're into
March Madness is coming up. Guys, I love basketball, so that's what I'm going to be talking about for the next month and a half. Just find little things like that. Oh, good. Dogs, food, fitness. Yeah, good. Yeah, see? That's perfect.
Perfect. We have 10 minutes, guys, so it is time to move on, and we'll talk about this more as we continue Coach Basics, and we'll help you find your 5 things to talk about. If you aren't sure, make a post in Coach Basics or message your upline. We'll help you come up with those things. That's what we're here for. But Allison has some stuff to talk about too, so I want to give her plenty of time. We have 9 minutes now, Allison.
Okay, ready, set, go. So, right there. Okay. So the segue from what MC was saying, I don't need it right there. Thank you, though. What was I saying? Let's see. Well, first of all, your posts, you definitely want to have public. I know that some of you, yes, Sandy, he is cute and a big distraction. Some of you don't want to put your stuff out there public, and I get that. It was very hard for me, but there's a difference between your audiences, and you really want to, even if it's the unrelated stuff to your family. So if it's your fitness or your pets or something like that, make sure that you go into Facebook and change the setting from friends to public. You can go back and forth post by post and change that. And then when you're thinking about posts, it is very easy to get caught up in other people's posts. Like I know we have a couple of upline coaches who are great at posting. They're posting that 3 to 5 times a day, and they're really coming up on my Facebook. So it would be very easy for me to say, oh my goodness, let me do that. But that's not me. I'm not Kaylee, so fashion is definitely not my thing. I am one big hot mess most of the time when it comes to my clothing. And I actually posted that yesterday. 4 different outfits I was looking to go out with my husband with. And it got nearly 200 comments. I was just amazed by that. And I'm going to try and screen share here. Right after the Super Bowl on Monday, I posted about Lady Gaga and how, we should feel comfortable in our own skin, and how it was bold, brave, and beautiful for her to be on stage, even with, my first thought was, wow, look at those abs. That's what I want. But apparently she's been getting a lot of hate on Facebook. So I had posted that on Monday, and MC posted it today, I think, and she has over 100 likes, I think, and a bunch of shares, and I got about 18 likes, I think. So I'm going to try and screen share to that for a minute, just so that you can see the difference between the both of us. Oh, hello. Can you guys see that? Can you see that? No, yes?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so one of them, if you look here, there's just about 18 people that liked that, and then over here, there's 139 people that liked it, and 18 comments. So that's one example. And then another one is one that Alicia and I had done. not together, but they were just hours from each other. Hers is right here. Doesn't even have really a picture. It's just bold and it stands out. She got 120 comments on that, and 11 likes, and 208 people saw my post, but only 2 people liked it, and I only got 8 comments. So that's the difference, between your posting. You have to know your audience. That's a big, big thing. So I couldn't get on here and talk at all about fashion. So I'm not going to try and steal anybody with fashions posts whatsoever, because it's not me. You have to be you. Your audience is following you for who you are. They're not following you for who somebody else is. The other thing about knowing your audience, and I think Alicia said it, is about the time, posting at the correct times. You want to definitely, when you're doing those 3 posts a day, try and do it when you know that your audience is there. If you're a nurse that works overnight and most of your followers have that night shift, try and post at night. I have a pretty normal schedule. I'm home for my kids, so I do most of my posting right when I get up is usually my fitness post, and then during the day I'll usually post just a real life, having a great day, or this is going on, and then my evening post is just kind of random. And by you going through and liking other people's posts, that gets their stuff seen in the news feed. So make sure that you're commenting on other people's stuff. Give them a little bit of love. Help their posts get seen. And in the same aspect, they'll do it, for you as well. The other thing with Facebook is that one of the other coaches had said, you get lost in the feed with the algorithms. So you can actually go through and prioritize. So if there's people that you want to focus on, whether that they're following you for your fitness journey, you can put them in a little list so that you're always checking in with them and liking their stuff and commenting, and just make it authentic. Just don't go through and put like and then great. Make sure you're saying like, hey, nice hair today, or love your shirt, or great nails. Yes, like he said, it'll make them feel confident. It'll make them post more. So we had a little coach in the making here. So I think that's all that I had. We still have about 2 minutes left. Hopefully I got everything in. But any questions or anything that I didn't cover?
Just remember, guys, when you're starting out, you might not get very many likes on your posts, and that's okay. It will increase. I remember comparing myself to other people and being like, oh my gosh, mine didn't even get any likes, or it got 2 likes, or, but I just stayed the course. I just did what my coach told me and stayed consistent. And what started out with 4 likes on challenge group invite posts now get 100, So it's just about consistency and just trusting the process. Promise.
And there's still times where I only get like 10 likes. Honestly, guys, it is what it is. There's no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, and just because they don't push like doesn't mean they're not watching you. So keep that in mind. A lot of people don't push like if they're watching.
That's such a good point. We only have like literally a minute, but I'm a coach now. I didn't like one of Alicia's posts because I thought she was going to stalk me if I did, which wouldn't have been true. But until I had the guts to message her and say, hey, whatever you're doing, I'm doing it, sign me up. I didn't like one of them. So just because you're not getting likes, it doesn't mean people aren't watching.
And the other thing is somebody could be getting hundreds of likes, but they could be coaches liking them. So, when you start to build your business, you will see that your posts grow just from the love that other coaches are giving and your followers. It's a combination at that point. But you still might not get any. There's been posts I put up there and I still get nothing some days. It's all about timing.
We're going to get cut off.
Yep, we're going to get cut off. Thank you guys so much